Welcome to the Instagram stories for Thursday, February 23rd. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. The biggest news is a couple of stories from the TikTok team, and then we'll get into some other tech news. Let's first start off with the TikTok news. The company today announced a new partnership with Mercedes Benz, which will see TikTok content directly integrated into the screen of the new E-Class car. Here's the quote: "From passing time waiting while stationary in your vehicle to simply enjoying a moment to yourself while the car is at rest before heading into your destination, TikTok will be your new favorite activity when parked, delivering you a stream of videos tailored just for you. Passengers can get in on the fun too. The two screens in the vehicle run independently, so both the driver and passenger can log into their own accounts and For You feeds." End quote. I absolutely love this concept. How many times have you pulled over, you got home, you want to decompress in the car for a few minutes, you pull out your phone, you go on TikTok. Maybe that's just me. This is a great avenue to do it. I absolutely love this concept. And I really like the fact that this Mercedes has two screens, one for the passenger and one for the driver, so the passenger can have their own separate TikTok viewing experience. In other news, there's been a lot of discussion about whether or not the Chinese government has access to your data on TikTok. That's a very deep conversation. I've covered it before, but I wanted to highlight some TikTok news that they announced they are expanding access to their research APIs for US researchers affiliated with nonprofit academic institutions. In addition to bringing more transparency to content on the platform, they say that they are eager to learn from the findings of researchers. They go on to explain that they will continue to iterate on their APIs to better meet the needs of the research community while protecting the privacy of the TikTok community. They also will be expanding access to more regions and to nonprofit researchers in the coming months. I will link to the tweets that these pieces of information come from directly from TikTok's communications account. But this is all about transparency and making it available for researchers to look at the APIs, algorithms, and determine whether or not there's any influence from outside governments that they need to be concerned about. I think this move of transparency indicates that there's nothing to be worried about, but you're always going to get people who say, don't go on TikTok, you shouldn't do it. I mean, those people are definitely entitled to do or not do whatever they want, so that makes sense. But I'll link to this in the show notes so you can check it out for yourself. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about Artifact, the app from the creators of Instagram, so stay tuned. This episode is supported by Because I Love It, aka Billy. Billy is a social commerce platform that connects social media influencers with brands to sell online. Billy is performance-based, influencer-centric, and works across all social media platforms. Join Billy's 10,000 influencers today. Find out more at becauseilove.it.com. That's becauseilove.it.com. And we're back. A few weeks ago on the show, I talked about Artifact, which is a new personalized newsreader app built by the two co-founders of Instagram, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger. First, it's very tempting to think that Adam Mosseri created Instagram, but he did not. He worked at Facebook for a long time, and then he became head of Instagram. Unrelated to Mike Krieger and Kevin Systrom. I've had access to Artifact for a few weeks now. I shared the invitations that I had with as many listeners as I could, and I would say overall the experience is very similar to Google News or Apple News, where you get a list of articles that it thinks you will like, and you can click on them and read them if you want, and that will be used to determine what the next articles it shows you will be about. However, the social sharing components that I've been waiting for are still not available. I think that will be an interesting layer on top of the news, which is that you could share it with your own take, whether it's a line or two, or your opinion, or something else important. Having said that, Artifact is now available for everyone. Previously, you had to be on the wait list or get an invite. Now that requirement is no longer there. There are some other new features included in the launch, nothing too earth-shattering, but the part that I do think is a little bit interesting is that there's a feature that allows you to upload your contacts in order to see a signal that a particular article is popular in your network. Now, you won't be able to see who else is reading the article or anything like that. There's privacy there, but just nice to know what people in your sphere are reading. Hopefully the people in your phone book are reading the higher more intelligent class of articles. Long story short, if you weren't able to get on Artifact previously, now's the time. It's open. Sign up, check it out, see what you think. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm actually very excited. I am going to be taking a stand-up comedy class. It starts tonight. I have done a little bit of stand-up comedy at an open mic before and definitely crashed and burned. So I'm excited to learn a little bit about this process and just really get out of the house because, yeah, working from home is tough sometimes. Thanks for listening, and be sure to come back tomorrow for more Instagram news or strategy or something else important.
I'm not yet a member of the Instagram team, but my podcast covers many Instagram themes. But the name, image, logos are trademarks of Instagram and the LCC in the USA and every territory. Everything I publish independently. Until they let me run my team and start to pay my salary. Not sponsored or endorsed, no lies, no fallacy. I use their logo with permission, not malicious or callously. No trademark violation, filling all criteria. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Daniel Hill Media.